Good morning, everyone. Today we are going to look at how do we execute the Selenium scripts from a programming environment, or let's say, see, when we saw the Selenium IDE, right? So this was the Selenium IDE, right? So basically, what the Selenium IDE will do is when you want to replay it, it will replay it on the what do you call? Uh, the whatever browser you recorded. For example, I recorded on Chrome, so it is going to replay it on Chrome. But maybe I want to record it on uh, on a different browser, right? I want to replay it on a different browser. So what do I do? That is what we are going to see in today's class. So let me start sharing the screen. So can you all see my screen now? Can you all see my screen now? Okay. So in today's class, what we will do is we will see, in yesterday's session, what we saw how to replay this on a Chrome browser. For example, if I say run, so it is going to run it on a Chrome browser. So now if I want to run it on Firefox, it won't run because I recorded it using Chrome. Or maybe I want to run it on Internet Explorer. It will not run. So the idea here is depending upon the in testing we have something called as cross browser testing. So in cross browser testing, what we want to do is we want to ensure that our application works on different browsers. Okay, we want our application works on a different browser. So in order to do that, what we want is we want to run it on a different browser. Or see here, it is going as username as admin and password as 123. Now, let's say I have some 15 different users and I want to check if it is working for all those 15 users. So in programming, what we can do is we can write a for loop and run it for 15 times with different user IDs. But when we have in this kind of environment, that is not possible. So there are certain things that you can do. You can basically add a loop, all these things, but still you will not be able to programmatically control your script. So what we are going to do is we are going to convert this code into another language, into a programming language. Okay, what you are seeing on the window is basically the Selenium script. Okay, it is called as Selenium script. Now the Selenium script, it can run on this particular window, but I won't be able to run it on a different browser, or I cannot write a logic. Right? Say for example, I want to write some logic in the code. If you see this screen, you click on this button. If you see this button, you click on this screen. So I want to programmatically control the way in which I want my script to run, which is not possible in this kind of Selenium IDE. So what we are going to do is we are going to convert this code into a, a Python script. Actually speaking, if you go to the Selenium website, right? If I open my Chrome browser, right? Here, Selenium dev. Okay. Now, if you go to the Selenium dev, you can see, you go to the Selenium. Okay. So here, if you go and see this, there is something called as language bindings, which means you can write your code in C#, you can write your code in Ruby, you can write your code in Java, you can write your code in Python, or you can write your code in JavaScript. So there are multiple languages in which you can write your code. Okay. So what we will do is, for the sake of this course, we will write our code in Python. Why Python? Because in today's world, Python is the most commonly used programming language. We use Python for data analytics. We use Python for machine learning. We use Python for computer vision, AI. There's so many things, robotic automation. There's so many things we use Python. So it is always good to learn Python as a programming language because it is going to help you in a lot of ways. Okay. So that is why, as a added advantage, we will use Python, right? So now, so how do we write a code? How many of you have written a code in Java in this class? How many of you have done any kind of programming? Can you raise your hand? Any kind of programming? You would have done C, C++, or maybe you would have done Java, you would have done Python. What language you have coded? There are some 15 people. Can you tell me in which language you have done the coding? Have you done the coding in Python or you have done the coding in Java? Okay. For doing the coding, what do you need? For writing code, what do you need? So for example, if it is Java, where will you write the code? Or if it is Python, where will you write the code? For writing the code, what do you need? For writing the code, storing the code, executing the code, what do you need? You need something called as an IDE. IDE stands for Integrated Development Environment. So you will need an IDE where you can write the code. For example, when you write the code in C, C++, you use something like Turbo C++ or Borland C, something like that, right? Some or when you write code in Java, you use something like Eclipse, or when you write code in Visual C Sharp, you use something like Visual Studio. So depending upon the type of language that you use, you will use a different kind of IDE, okay, which is called as Integrated Development Environment. Suppose if you want to write code in Java, right? The most commonly used IDEs for Java, right? Let's say now I say IDE for Java. Most commonly used IDE for Java are, you can see here, Eclipse, IntelliJ IDE, BlueJ ID, BlueJ, My Eclipse. So these are all some of the IDEs for Java. So similarly, let's say we use for IDE for Python. Now here the best IDEs for Python are, one is IDLE, Integrated Development and Learning Environment, IDLE. Then you have something called as PyCharm. Right? Today, we are going to see how to use PyCharm to write Selenium Python code. Okay, we are going to see how, we are now going to see how to use PyCharm to work on Selenium IDE. So for this, we need the PyCharm to be installed. So what we have to do is, we'll have to say, we go to PyCharm. Right? In this PyCharm, you have you can go to the PyCharm and then you can go and say download. So here there are two versions. One is a professional version and the other one is a community edition. Okay, professional version means you will have to pay. Okay, but 30 days it is free, but afterwards you'll have to pay. But we don't need this kind of professional environment because we are not going to do any web development. We are not going to do any web development. We are just going to write some Python code for Selenium. So what we are going to do is, we are going to download the community edition. So it is free, built on open source. So we are going to install the community edition. Now, when you install the community edition, so you'll have to simply click on the exe and download. So once you download, you will get a program like this. something like this. You will get a PyCharm community edition. Can you see my screen? You can see a Python. It's a 400 MB file. Okay, it's a 400 MB file. You can download this, and once you download, you double click on it. Once you download, you will double click on it. Then it will do a installation. It is like how you install Chrome on your browser, or it is like how do you install a app on your phone, right? You just double click it, next, next, next. It will automatically install the PyCharm on your machine. So once the PyCharm is installed on your machine, the next thing that you will do is you will have to open the PyCharm. So now I have installed. If you look at my screen, you can see that I have installed PyCharm here, right? So PyCharm Community Edition is installed. So then now what I'll do is I'm going to just double click it and open it up. I'm going to double click it and open it up. So it is going to open the PyCharm edition on my laptop. Right, so let me, for now, what I'll do is, okay. So let's say once, see, when you open the PyCharm for the first time, okay, when you open the PyCharm for the first time, it will ask you to create a project, right? Just observe how do we create a project. See here. Very carefully, look at this. Now you go to the Selenium IDE, sorry, the PyCharm, then you go to File, New Project, right? So in the project, for the first time, see, okay, now here there are certain things that you have to remember. You will have to install Python. Okay, if Python is not installed, it will automatically install when you create your first project. Remember here. See here it says project location. It says, okay, it says some location, and it says some brace interpreter. Okay, now when the Python project is not, when you are creating for the first time, and if you have not installed Python, first time when you create the project, it will install Python. Are you all getting the point? Just try to remember this one, okay? When you open the PyCharm and create the project for the first time, okay? If Python is already installed, it will automatically take it up. If Python is installed, automatically it will take it up. If Python is not installed, look, remember this point. If the Python is not installed for the first time, it will install the Python. And it will also ask you for permission. You will have to say yes. Okay, you will say there will be one window. Maybe you will have to just go through the all the windows in your this thing. There will be a window which will ask for a permission. Are you sure you want to install Python? You will have to say yes, and then you will have to install Python. Remember that. First time, if Python is already installed, it will also see now in my machine Python is already installed in this location. So it automatically took. Okay, if Python is not installed, then you will have to install the Python. Again, this is the location where you want to store the project. Now I want to store the project here. Okay. Now, what is the... I want to give a name to this project. I will call it as... Okay, so you will have to give. So here I created the project name as Selenium. If you see on the left hand side of my screen, okay, you can see that I have created a project called Selenium. So if the project is created, you can directly use it, or you can create a new project, and then you will say create. The project will be created, something like that. You will get a project, something like this. Now, once the project is created, then what we will do is we will have to create a folder. Okay. So, I mean, by default, this VN folder will come. VN is nothing but virtual environment. So, whenever a Python project is created, automatically a virtual environment will be created. It is like your system files. These are some built-in files that Python will require. So don't worry about it and go out and create your own folder. Let's say now I'm going to create a new directory. Then it will ask me for a directory name. Then I'll say Selenium example 1. Now a folder is created. Now what I want to do is I want to create a script. Okay, I want to create a script for running the Python code. I want to create a script for running the Python code. So before I could create a script which will run the Python code, before that what I should do is I should install Selenium package in IDE. I need to install Selenium package in IDE. There are two important packages that you should install. One is called as PyTest. There are two important packages that you need to install. Let me say Python file test case 1. Now you need to install two packages. You don't have to do every time. First time you will have to do. Okay, two packages. Two packages we need to wait. I'm just trying to change the format size so that it will be visible. And what we can also do is I can also change the settings editor. I mean, I want the style color scheme. This will be better for you to read in the to see in the code. That is, I've changed it to a brighter one. Okay, so now we need to install these two packages. What are these two packages? One is Selenium Webdriver package. Other one is PyTest. Okay. Now there are also other packages that we might have to install, but basically these are important. And afterwards we will also install other packages. Now how do we install packages? There are two ways. One is you can go, if you look at the bottom of the screen, something called terminal. Okay. Yes, and can okay, let me try from here. You can say is something called as pip install. Okay, pip is not, it says pip is not recognized. That means I cannot install it this way. So the other way that I can install is I can go to file, settings. There is something called as project. In this, you have something called as project Python interpreter. See here. So here, if you look at this, I have already installed Selenium package. I have already installed PyTest package. Now, but how do you install this? Okay, so what you can do is you can just look at the screen carefully. Here you have the plus icon. You have to click on this and then you will say Selenium. Okay, now Selenium is there. So for me, I have already installed. Okay, I have already installed. If you click on this install package, it says Selenium installed successfully. Similarly, there is also one more thing called as PyTest. You just search for PyTest. The first one you are seeing, right? This is the PyTest. Okay. So you say PyTest and then you install package. So it will automatically install the PyTest package. Okay. For me, it is already installed, so it happened very quickly. But otherwise, it might take 1 or 2 minutes, but then it will install. So what you have done is you have created a project, right? You have created a project. You have created a folder. Inside the folder, you have created the code. You have created the code. Now what we have created a code in the sense we have just created a simple Python program. Okay. So if you want to do a test, print Selenium prod. Okay. So you say I'm going to run it. Testing directory does not exist. Why? So it has now run the say it has printed it. So basically, we just tested if Python is working. Okay. So now what we will do is we will create a Selenium script. Okay, we will create a Selenium script. Now, how do I create a Selenium script in Python? The question is, how do I create a Selenium script in Python? Now, what we are going to do is, just a second. So, is my screen visible to you all? Is my screen visible to you all? Can you raise your hands if my screen is visible? Yeah, thanks. Right. So, what we are going to do, we are now come to the pie chart. So, now we are going to create our code in Python. So, let us see how do we create our code in Python. So, for this, let me open Chrome first. Okay, I have opened Chrome. Now, what I am going to do is I want to record on a application. Okay, I want to record the code on a particular application. Let me open up the website. Okay, I'm sharing the screen again. Now the screen will be visible to you. Okay, so here, if you look at this, so this is the application on which I want to create my Selenium code. Okay, so I want to just log in, do something and come back. So what I'm going to do is, I think I have installed the Chrome in a different one. So here I have the Selenium IDE installed. So how many of you don't know how to install Selenium IDE? How many of you don't know how to install Selenium IDE in Chrome? How many of you don't know how to install Selenium IDE? I hope everybody knows how to install Selenium IDE. Correct? I believe everybody knows how to install Selenium IDE. Okay, just go to Google Chrome and type Selenium IDE. Very simple. Selenium IDE. Then you will get this one. For me, it is already installed. So it shows that remove from Chrome because it is already installed. Otherwise, here it will show install, right? So then what we will do, we will go to this one, this icon, and we will by default it will be unpinned. That means the Selenium IDE will not be visible. So what we can do is we can pin the Selenium IDE. Then the Selenium IDE will be ready. Now what we will do, we will say open the Selenium IDE, right? So you can either create a new project or whatever it is. So open an existing project. Okay, existing project is not there. So what we will do, we'll create a new project, call it as upskill display. Okay, now what is the base URL? So this is the base URL of the application. You'll have to give the base URL of the application and say start recording. Okay. Once you say start recording, it will ask for username admin, password admin, login. Then you will get a menu. Then you can just go to UOM. Then you can go back to the main page. Then you can go to item category, go back to main page. Then you go to purchase order. So in the purchase order, you can again go back to the main page, right? Log out. Now you have created the code. Now you say, you go to the Selenium IDE and you say stop to test case 1. To just to verify whether the code is working, you can simply write the here. So it is now typing admin login. So it is going to all the pages, right? Now it is going to all the pages, but there is nowhere it is actually now so I can run here, but now I cannot write some logic, right? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to export this code into Python. I'm going to export this code into Python. So what we are going to do is just copy. Don't even have to copy. Okay. So you just go to the test case 1 and then you say export. Then it is asking you in what language you want me to export. I say um, uh, export to Python. Okay, export to Python. I say export. So it will create one file. So I have created that file. Now I'll open that file. Now I have the file is opened, right? The code is ready. So I just copy it. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in this PyCharm. Save. So the code is ready now. The code is ready. Okay. Again, we will do a lot of changes later, but right now the code is ready. Now I can go ahead and say, run this. Okay. I think this is not needed. So now you can see it has opened the browser. It is logging in. It is going to all the pages and it has come back. So it says passed. Now, if I want to run it on Firefox, what I'll have to do is I'll have to simply go ahead and here instead of webdriver.chrome, I can simply say dot Firefox, right? Webdriver.firefox. So now if I run this, now it is giving me an error. What is the error it is giving? Firefox is not found. Okay, so here we have loaded WebDriver and why is it saying WebDriver is not found? I think the WebDriver is not callable. So here I'm trying. So we ran it on Chrome, right? So initially what we did was we ran it on Chrome. So Chrome it ran, right? But when we are trying with Firefox, yeah, the Firefox F was capital. Sorry. Now it says why? Because do I have Firefox? I don't have Firefox on my machine. That is why it did not run. Okay. So let us try with Edge. I don't have Firefox on my machine. So that is why it did not run. So let us see if it runs with. Now you can see it is running on Edge. So what we did is a very simple thing. Okay. We just created the code and now we are able to run it on Firefox. Now we are able to run it on Firefox. Now in this case, what we did was we are just running. Okay. But if you take up a test case, okay, any test case that you take up, a test case will have some verification. Okay. That means you will have to say some expected result and some actual result. So for example, here let us just take the example of this case. Okay. How do you know that I have logged in successfully? Admin, I log in. How do you know that login is successful? How do you know login is successful? Can somebody tell me how do I know that login was successful? Yes. Can somebody tell me how do I know that login was successful? When I go to the material management system, how do one know that the login was successful in this case? Yes. Can you guys answer? See, only if login is successful, logout link will come. Correct? Tell me at least yes or no. Only if I log in, the logout button will come up. Yes or no? Okay, fine. So only when you log in, the button will come. Now what we are going to do here is we are going to verify whether this logout is there or not. After I log in, I'm going to check whether that logout is there or not. How can we do that? See here. See the Selenium. Keep the Selenium window open, right? Open the Selenium window. Hi. Keep the Selenium window open. Now you go to the project. Sorry. What is the URL? This is the main URL. This is the main URL. So what we are going to do, we're going to give this as base URL. Okay. So now the application is open. Okay. So see, actually, we don't have to record all these things. I'll say stop record. But what I'll do is I'll stop the recording. Okay. Now what we will do, we will simply navigate. Okay. Add to start. Thank you. Okay. So here now I want to know, I want to verify that this particular thing is there. So what I'm going to do is in Selenium, the Selenium is open. Now I go to that Selenium opened window and I am say right click. This is the Selenium window. Wait. So let me start again. Record. I'll give the URL. Start. Let me say I'm pausing the recording. Right? I'm not stopping the recording. I'm just pausing the. Well, I'm stopping the recording. Let it go as admin. So here I want to ensure that this logout link is there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to right click there. Automatically Selenium IDE will come. And here I'm going to say assert. Okay, assert, and then say present. Assert present means what you do. Assert means once check. Assertion means checking or ensuring. Okay. Assert na Tamil la sollna உறுதிப்படுத்துறது. Okay. Assertion is like உறுதிப்படுத்துறது. So நம்ம என்ன பண்றோம்? Once we log in, we are asserting that that logout link is present. So I say present. So now if you just stop the recording. Now here you can say, here you would have got a code saying assert element present, right? So what you can do is you can simply copy that. Previously there used to be an option to copy. Now wait, so okay, previously there used to be an option to copy the code in the language that we want. I don't think we have that option right now. No, I don't think we have that option right now. So what we will do is we will basically, for time being, we will export the entire code. We will take only that line. Which line? Here it says. So here it has got the assertion. Now what we will do is in our Python code, after login, see here we are sending the username. Here we are sending the password. After logging in, we are writing this. So elements is equal to, so assert length. Instead of this, what we can do is we can write this as a code. If length greater than 0, print logout present. Else p is small, print logout not present and login failed. Right, so now I can write a code like this, which basically says, so now when I'm running it, right, if I now go ahead and run this, run as, so it will now go and check that in your console you will get a message. I'll have to go to the, now it says it has passed. We will have to go to the log. In this is, it won't be there in this, but if you go to the Python console, no, it is not there. Where is it printed? Wait, where is the log message printed? should print here. No, it is not there. So we have printed it, but the print log here it is just giving the PyTest log. Okay. Right. So nowhere this message has come. Okay. So it has checked. I mean, it has checked it, but that message is not displayed anywhere here. So okay, that is fine. We will. I'll let you know where is that console coming up. It should either come in the Python console. In Python console also it did not come. They run terminal. In terminal also it did not come. The run window also it did not come. Sorry. Here it is. Sorry. How did I check that? Here you can see that logout present. Whatever message that we have given is here. Where was it? It is there in the. Oh, it was there right from the beginning, I think. I only did not check it properly. So whatever messages that you are giving will automatically come here. So now I have created a script. Now, as an exercise, what you have to do is install PyCharm on your laptop. Okay, install PyCharm on your laptop. Set up the environment for Selenium. And what you should do is, in tomorrow's class, I will ask you this. Okay, so open, this is the live site. Okay, here they have given the username and password. So what you should do is you should create a script which will run on Chrome or whatever browser, where once you should log in. Okay, admin. Okay, admin, right? Admin 123. Sorry, admin. Okay, admin 123. Okay, you log in. Once you log in, you will have to verify whether this message dashboard is there or not. Once you have verified that the dashboard message is there, then you will have to log out. This is the code that you have to create in Python. Using your Selenium IDE, it should run on your machine. This is your exercise for today. Now you can stop the recording. The class recording can be stopped now.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Any questions now?